Hello students, welcome to the 7th tutorial class on operating system, and this class will be presented by myself, Dr. Shruti Mondal, Assistant Professor in Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering from Jalpaiguri Government Engineering College. Now coming to the content of this class, in this class we shall discuss some classic problems on synchronization, namely the bounded buffer problems, the reader-writer problem, and the Dunning-Kruger problem. All the details of these problems on process synchronization will be explained in the upcoming slides. So let's start. So classic problem on synchronization. We already know that in case of shared variable, whenever there is a shared variable in process, so the processes should be synchronized. Okay, and those processes are already known as concurrent process. A number of different synchronization problem are already proposed, which are a typical example for large class of concurrency control problem. Now these problems are widely used to test new proposed synchronization scheme, and it is quite obvious that in all of these problems semaphore should be used as synchronization tools. So in this class we shall mainly focus on three popular classic problem on synchronization. First one is the bounded buffer problem, second one is the reader writers problem, and third one is the Dunning-Kruger problem. So the first classic problem is the bounded buffer problem. I have already discussed about the producer consumer problem in earlier class. Okay, so the bounded buffer problem is basically an extension of this producer consumer problem or a subclass of producer consumer problem. So let's revise what is producer consumer problem. As the name suggests, producer can produce an information and that should be consumed by the consumer process. Okay, so producer and consumer process should run concurrently. Okay, so for that purpose, we need a buffer or a pool of buffers. Now, what is the function of these buffers? Now, these buffers are used to store the information or which information are produced by the producer process, and this buffer should also be emptied by the consumer process. Okay, so a producer can produce one item while the consumer can consume that item. Again, the producer and consumer process should be synchronized. For which purpose? So that a consumer does not try to consume an item which is not yet produced. So if this kind of situation occurred, the consumer need to wait until the item is produced by the producer process. So this is basically the producer consumer process. Now, based on the size of the buffer, we can classify producer consumer process into two types. Now, if the size of the buffer is fixed or limited or bounded, that kind of producer consumer process is known as the bounded buffer, or you can simply call it as bounded buffer problem. And when the size of the buffer is not limited, that is called unbounded buffer problem. So here we mainly focus on bounded buffer problem where the size of the buffer is fixed. Okay, uh, so for this scheme we assume that the buffer pool consists of only n buffer and each buffer is capable of holding one item only. Okay, so next what we need to do, we need to code the respective process or program. Okay, so before starting the code of producer process and consumer process, we can interpret the code as that producer producing the full buffer for the consumer, and the consumer is responsible for the empty buffer for the producer. Okay, so producer fill the buffer and consumer empty the buffer. Okay, so this is the, so it is quite symmetric between producer and consumer process. The operation is only inversed. Okay, so for the coding purpose, we need to use semaphore, obviously. Okay, because there is critical section in the process in case of process synchronization. So we need to use semaphore. Here, three type of semaphore can be used. One is mutex, another is full, and this is empty. Now, what is the function of mutex? Mutex is semaphore provide the mutual exclusion for access to the buffer pool, and it is initialized with 1. Okay. Now, others semaphore like empty. So, what is the function of empty semaphore? Basically, it count the number of empty buffer, and the full semaphore count the number of full buffer respectively. And initially, the semaphore empty is set to 1 and semaphore full is set to 0. Okay, so all these initial conditions should be kept in mind before the start of the coding. So mutex is initialized with 1, empty is initialized to 1, and full is initialized to 0. Okay, now all these are semaphore. Now let's look the code for the producer. Okay, so this is the pseudocode for the producer process. So you can see that do, first of all, the producer process produce an item. Okay, now whenever an item is produced by the respective process, so what we need to do, we need to access the critical section where the item is needed to be sent in the buffer. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to get the access. Okay, so we already know that in if you use the buffer, semaphore, wait is has been used for the entry section. So here you can see that first of all, wait empty this process has been used, this semaphore process. Okay, so as you already know, the initial value of empty is 1. So we already know whenever we use the wait process, so value of that semaphore has been decreased by 1. So now the current value of empty is 1 minus 1, that is 0. And similarly, the current value of the mutex semaphore is 1 minus 1 is also 0. Now whenever this condition will be satisfied, that means whenever both semaphore value becomes 0, that means the process can enter into the critical section, and at that time the produced item will be sent to the buffer. Okay, now whenever the item is sent to the buffer, then what we need to do, we need to exit from that critical section. So for that purpose we need to use signal. So mutex, again signal mutex, so the next the current value of the mutex will become again 0 plus 1, that is 1, and the value of the signal, and next we need to use the full signal full. So for the, so now the value of the full is 0 plus 1, as you already know the initial value of the full semaphore is 0. So now uh, the current value of the full semaphore is 0 plus 1, that is 1. Now it should be, remember that 1, this value of this one value of full semaphore indicate the buffer is full. That means now the consumer can consume the item. Or what can be done, that uh, after this process, after this execution of the process, another item can be produced, and that should be that need that again will be stored into the another buffer, because we are consider that there is n buffer. So we can produce n number of item, and we can store the items in the buffer. Okay, so after that, either consumer process can be called, or producer process can be again repeated. Okay, so you can just remember this point, that the value of full semaphore as 1, that indicate that buffer is full, and that means consumer process can be called. Okay, so this is the pseudo code for the producer. Now coming to the code for the consumer. So again, do first of all, what we do? So as the value of full is 1 by the earlier process, so whenever the consumer process will be run, we need to use the wait process. That means we need to again go through the entry section. For that purpose, we need to call the wait process. So whenever, first of all, wait full, that means the latest value of full become 1 minus 1, sorry, this will be 1 minus 1, that is 0. Okay, so value of full semaphore is now become 0, and value of, now again next, wait mutex. Okay, so next again the value of mutex become 1 minus 1, 0, because earlier case you can see that the last value of mutex is 1. Okay, so now the value of full and full semaphore and mutex semaphore become both 0. So whenever this condition satisfy, it will again go to the critical section of the consumer process. So for that purpose, what we can do, uh, so then we can remove the item from the buffer. Okay, so this operation will be performed after the entry section or wait section. Okay, now after that, what we need to do, again we need to indicate that buffer become empty. Okay, that means again producer process can be executed. So for that purpose, we need to use signal process. So mutex, signal mutex, again I am telling that mutex has been used for denoting the mutual exclusiveness between the process. Okay, as so mutual exclusiveness between process means consumer process and the producer process. Okay, so after that the mutex becomes 0 plus 1, that is 1, and next signal empty. So now value of empty become 0 plus 1, that means 1. Okay, so you can see that value of empty, you can see that the last value of empty becomes 0. So after that, signal empty, that means empty become 1. So 1 indicate that the item need to be consumed, and after that the consumer process or consumer can consume the process, or can access the item. And this one value of empty semaphore indicate that again producer can produce an item, and that can be stored into the respective buffer. Okay, so the loop, after the consume the item, the process has been ended. So you can write do while 1. While 1 means all the process will be executed if all the condition is true. Okay, so this is the code for the consumer process. So producer will produce an item, then store into the respective buffer, and consumer remove the item from the buffer and consume the item. So that is the process. And there are three important semaphore has been used. Mutex has been used for mutual exclusiveness for the consumer process and the um, producer process also. And there is full semaphore and empty semaphore. Full semaphore denote the um, buffer is full or not, and empty semaphore indicate that the buffer is empty or not, and that means producer can be produced an item or not. Okay, so whenever, it should remember that whenever the value of full semaphore become 1, then only consumer process can be called, and whenever the value of empty semaphore is 1, then the producer's process can be called. Okay, clear? So coming to the next problem of synchronization, that is known as the reader's writer problem. So what is reader's writer problem? So in case of shared data, like a file or record that is shared among different concurrent process, it is possible that some process can want to only read that process sorry want to only read the content of that file or record or the share object, whereas other process may want to update the content of the respective file or record. That means some process want to read only whereas other process can want to write the respective information. So we can distinguish between these two type of process by referring them as readers writers process. Okay, so those process that are interested in only reading, that can be called as readers, and whereas others are known as the writers. That means which can which want to update the information in the respective file, those process are writers. It should be keep in mind that readers process only want to read the process, whereas writers may only whereas the writer process can also want to read and write both. Now if two readers parallelly access the same data, there will be no problem. Okay, so if two readers access the shared data object simultaneously, no adverse effect will be occur, because no update into the content of the respective file or record. But whenever a writer is accessing that file and some other process want to read or write that file, then there will be problem, there will be chaos. Okay, so the problem, when the problem will occur, that means read write process, that means suppose a writer process is already going on, so it will continuously update the content of the file. So obviously the reader will not get the actual information. Okay, again, and whenever a writer is want to access want to update that file, and another writer is also wanting to update that file, so there will be some problem. That means readers and writers that should be synchronized. Okay, so for that purpose we need to we require that the writers have exclusive access to the shared object. Okay, so writers have the exclusive access to the shared object. Now readers writer problems has several variations based on the priorities. One is fast reader writers problem, another is second reader writer problem. The most simple is fast reader writers problem. So in case of fast reader writers problem, we require that no reader will be keeping waiting unless a writer has already obtained permission to use the shared object. Okay, that means a reader can easily access the content of the file unless the writer has obtained the permission to access. Okay, it is quite possible the writers can be waited. Okay, so in other words, no reader should wait for the other reader to finish simply because a writer is waiting. Okay, until unless he is getting the permission to use the shared object, reader can perform its operation. Whereas in case of second reader's writer problem, uh, once the writer is ready, that writers perform its write as soon as possible. Okay, so it is most priority. In other words, if a writer is waiting to access the object, no new reader may start reading. Okay, so the second reader's writer problem give a exclusive access to the shared object. That means the priority for the writers in the second reader's writer problem is most. So once a writer is ready, the writer performs the write operation as soon as possible. That means the writer no need to wait to access the new object, and no new reader may start the reading. Okay, so this is the first reader problem, second reader's writer problem. Okay, now to solve this problem, or for the if you want to design code for the respective readers and writers process, so we need to use again semaphore. Here we are using two semaphore. One is mutex, and we already know that mutex is used for the mutual exclusiveness between readers process and writers process. And both mutex and sorry, yeah, there is another semaphore, that is wrt, and this semaphore is common to the both readers and writers process. And both semaphore are initialized to 1. And moreover, we are using another integer that is initialized to 0, and it has been used to count the readers process. That means how many number of process are currently reading the object, that is count by the read count integer. Okay, so mutex semaphore is, again I'm telling that mutex semaphore is used to ensure the mutual exclusion between readers and writers process, or it is used to ensure the mutual exclusion when the variable read count is updated. Whereas the semaphore wrt function is also act as the mutual exclusion semaphore, but it is only used for the writers only. Okay, so so let's see the code for the semaphore. Sorry, yeah. So you can see that here it is mentioned that wrt semaphore is used as the mutual exclusion semaphore for the writers, and it should be remembered that is this wrt semaphore is used by the first reader and last reader, and in between them no other reader can access them. Okay, so why first reader and last reader can access them? Because if you want to enter or exit from the critical section, then we can use this semaphore. So this semaphore can also be used by the first reader or last reader. So you can see that here it is mentioned that it is not used by the readers who enter or exit while other readers are in the critical sections. Okay, so it is only valid for the first and last reader. So let's see the writer process. So writer's process is very simple, because we give the exclusive access to the writers. So when writing is performed in the critical section, no read or writing is allowed. So it is quite very simple process. That means do wait wrt, and where the value of wrt is initialized with 1. So now after the wait operation, the value of wrt semaphore become 1 minus 1, that is 0. So whenever this value indicate uh, 0, then the writing will be performed. Okay, so here writing is performed, and at that time no readers can access that file. Okay, so after the writing is completed, we need to use the signal operation. So what is the function of the signal operation? Because it has been used for the exit purpose. So after that, the value of wr2 again becomes 0 plus 1, that is 1. Okay, so wait wrt, writing is performed, and signal wrt. So close the bracket while 1. That means this process will be performed when all the information are true. Okay, so you can see that depending on the value of wrt, the writers can write the information into the respective file. So this is very simple. Okay, so now the value of wrt become again 1. Then what will happen? So when the value of wrt become 1, then means another writer can access the writer process, or readers can read the respective file. Okay, so that is the uh, function of wrt. It indicates that next process can be executed. It may be either writers or it may be either readers. Okay, now see the reader process. So reader's process is very critical. Why? Because during the reading process, writing is not allowed. Okay, because the information is not will not be updated, and wrong data, wrong information will be passed to the respective readers. But after completion of the first reader, after completion of the current reading process, the writers can access the respective process. So what is the code for the reader process? So do bracket wait mutex. Okay, so here mutex is used for the mutual exclusiveness. So when mutex becomes 0, that means if you use the wait operation, the current semaphore value will be decreased by 1. So 1 minus 1 becomes 0. So whenever this value becomes 0, that means a readers can allow, or the semaphore allow the readers for the entry. So now read count, that becomes plus read count plus plus, that means read count becomes 0 plus 1. We already know that the read count is initialized with the 0, so current value of the read count become 1. That means one reader can access the respective file. Now if the read count is 1, okay, so sorry, now if the read count is 1, wait wrt. So at that time wrt become again decreased by 1 and becomes 0. Okay, and signal we need to use the signal mutex. So mutex equal to 0 plus 1 equal to 1. So what is the function of this? So in this is basically the writer lock. That means the first reader, sorry, this term will be first. So first reader basically lock the writers. That means at that time writing is not possible until unless the current reading operation is executed. So whenever the value of wrt becomes 0 and value of the mutex is 1, then the reading will be performed. Clear? Okay, so reading is performed. Now after the reading, here we are mentioning that the first reader lock the writer. So we need to release the writer so that it can again uh, access the writing process. So again we are use the wait mutex. That means value of mutex become 1 minus 1 0, and here the read count minus minus. That means read count become 1 minus 1. That means become 0. Okay, so uh, you can see that now the value of read count becomes 0. So whenever the read count becomes 0, then signal wrt and signal mutex will be popped out. Now signal, what is the function of the signal operation? That means this is the exit. This signal process has been used for the exit purpose. So at that time the value of the wrt becomes 0 and value of the mutex become 1. So when the value of the wrt becomes 0 and 1, this indicate that the and read count, if the read count is become 0, at that time it will, what will indicate that the last reader release the writer. Okay, so here the first reader lock the writer. When the lock operation will be performed, when read count is 1, value of wrt is 0, value of mutex is 1, so then the readers lock the writer operation, then reading is performed. Okay, now after that, when the read count is 0, value wrt becomes 0 and mutex become 1. So for the 0 0 1 condition, what will happen? The reader can release the writer. Okay, so here you can see that when the reading is performed, the first reader lock the writer and the last reader lock the release the writer. And after that again, writer can access the writing process or reader can access the reader process. Okay, so this is basically readers writers problem, which is also a basic problem for the synchronization. Now coming to the third classic problem on process synchronization, that is the dining philosopher problem. So what is the dining philosopher problem? So here we are consider five philosophers are sitting around a circular table, and during that time they can think, or they spend their lives by thinking and eating. Okay, so uh, in the middle of the circular table there is a bowl of rice. Okay, and all the philosophers are sitting around the circular table in each of the chair. Now there is five chopstick are also there. Okay, so whenever a philosopher become hungry, what will happen? He or she needs two chopstick. So he need to access one chopstick from his left side, and he need to access one chopstick from his right hand. So after getting these two chopstick, he can eat the rice. Okay, and after the eating, he again replace the, or place the respective chopstick in his position, and again started thinking. So during thinking, he do not access the chopstick, or he does not eat. Okay, but whenever he become hungry, so at that time he will try to he or she will try to pick up two chopstick which are closest to him or her. But it is quite interesting that a philosopher may pick one chopstick or two chopstick, but for the eating purpose he or she needs two chopsticks, because one cannot eat by using only one chopsticks. Okay, and it should remember that whenever a chopstick is occupied by its neighbor philosopher, he or she cannot pick up that chopstick which is already in hand of others. Okay, so at that time the philosopher need to be waited, need to be waiting. Okay, so when a hungry philosopher has both her chopstick at the same time, only at that time she eats without releasing her chopstick, and when she finished the eating she can put down the both of her chopstick and start thinking again. So this is basically the dining philosopher problem, where five philosophers spend their life by only thinking and eating. Okay, so they can perform either thinking or eating. So during thinking, they they do not use the chopsticks, or they use the chopstick only when they are hungry, and they will try to access two chopsticks. Okay, so it's so from this example it is very clear that the accessing of these chopsticks should be synchronized, because if one chopstick is occupied by some philosopher, it cannot be accessed by the others. Okay, so he or she needs to wait for that time. So this problem can be considered as the classic synchronization problem. Okay, it is a very simple representation where we need to allocate several resources among the several process to avoid the deadlock. Okay, and also the starvation, because if a philosopher is not able to access the two chopstick, he might survive. So we need to provide a process so that all the chopsticks can be shared by the neighbors. Okay, so how can we solve this dining philosopher problem? So according to according to this problem, each chopsticks can be represented by a semaphore. Okay, so whenever a philosopher grab the chopsticks, so what it indicate, that means this process is quite similar to the weight operation. Weight operation is similar to the entry purpose or entry operation. So a philosopher grab the chopstick by executing the weight operation on that semaphore, and whenever he or she tries to release the chopstick, that means in that case we need to execute the signal operation. Okay, so signal operation, we already know that it is has been used for the exit purpose. So when a philosopher wants to release the chopsticks, he need to execute the signal operation on the appropriate semaphore. Clear? So chopsticks are similar to the semaphore, and whenever a philosopher tries to grab the chopstick, so he or she needs to execute the wait operation on the particular semaphore, and after eating, when that philosopher tries to release the chopsticks, he need to execute the signal operation so that appropriate exit from the critical segment can be executed. Okay, so the code for the dining philosopher problem is very simple. Here you can see that this is the code for the philosopher I. Here I denote the number of or current position of the philosopher. As you already know that the philosopher, there are five philosophers, so value of I can take from 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so for the philosopher I, what we need to do, first of all, do operation inside the bracket. We need to use two weight operation because we need to access the two chopstick. So chopstick I and chopstick I plus 1 ampersand 5. Okay, so after executing these two operation, that means the value of the respective semaphore, that is the chopstick, denote or indicate the access to the critical section. What is the critical section? Critical section is nothing but the eating operation. Okay, now after the eating operation is performed, we need to exit from that critical section. Okay, so for that exit purpose we need to use the signal operation. So again we are using the signal operation for the chopstick I, and signal operation chopstick I plus 1 ampersand 5. Okay, so so weight operation is used to pick or to grab the two chopstick, and two signal operation are performed to release the respective chopstick. And after the release of the respective chopstick, the philosopher I or the respective philosopher start to think again. We already know that in case of dining philosopher problem, there are only two possible function can be performed by the respective philosopher. One is eat, one is think. Okay, so during thinking no chopstick are used, and during eating two chopstick are used. Okay, so by using two weight process, the philosopher I or the respective philosopher can access two chopstick, and after the signal operation they release the chopstick and started to think again. Okay, so after the completion of eat and think operation, we are closing the do operation, and this all this operation will be performed while the information are true. Clear? So this is the code for the philosopher I. So coming to the conclusion, so basically in this class we have discussed some classic problem on synchronization. Those are the bounded buffer problems, readers writers problem, and the dining philosopher problem. All these problems are used for the newly proposed synchronization scheme for the testing purpose. Okay, so thank you. If you have any problem, please post them. Thank you.